is up, guys? Welcome to Truth and Transparency, a nice little afternoon live for you. Want to thank the newest home team member, H-Bag. Welcome to Truth and Transparency's membership. Again, let those notifications click in. This is Karen Reed case, and we're going to get into it. I got some very damning information for the prosecution. I think very helpful for the defense. Let's see what all of you guys think about it. Again, welcome. If you are new, sit back and enjoy the show.
Folks, I know there's a history here. I'd like to get this hearing in today. You know, everybody needs to just focus on the relevant facts, okay? I know there's a history here.
Are you talking up by Sunset Mart? Up the hill by the gas station?
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you?
Again, we're going to get started. Welcome. Thank you guys for being here. I won't be able to keep an eye on chat while I'm doing some of this, but just a reminder, please be kind to one another. You guys always rock, though. So something that we're going to reveal today is, again, all the way over here, this is your chronological order of all events. This is my manual extraction from all the data, all the resources that I have available in the Karen Reed case. So starting at the beginning of the night, 7:30, John's going to leave and head on over to McCarthy's, and something that actually happens before that, and I'm going to be noting it here, is at 7:30, based on her grand jury testimony as well as her statements, Nicole Alberts, goes by Coco, she arrives at the Waterfall to meet her sister, and it's not Jen, for dinner. She drives and heads there separately. So that's actually on my timeline right after, I believe, the dial-up of a alleged Uber. So those of you guys are coming right in now. Here it is in order. Hopefully this is big enough. I can make it even bigger. You guys don't need to see my face. So there you go. 7:37. Again, the source is at 7:37. That's going to be the McCarthy's cam downtown. And you're looking at John arrives at McCarthy's. 8:51, you're looking at Karen arriving. 8:58, now this is where the prosecution gets creative. And they say at 8:58, that's going to be the McCarthy's first drink. Now, it is, in my opinion, soda water with a lime that she actually got from, Karen got it from the bar. And the only way that you're going to know what was in it is if you have a receipt of that. But people do get soda waters with lime all the time. Now, even if it had vodka in it, who's not allowed to drink, But the reason I say this is because I'll explain it here in just a little bit. As this is happening at 8:58, at 9 o'clock, you have members that are in the party of the Albert's crew. They are arriving at the Waterfall, okay? So as Karen's actually getting to McCarthy's to meet her man, they are all, so you got Jen, McCabe, Matt, Carrie Roberts, Brian Higgins, Charlie, Albert, and then you have Nicholas and Karina arriving. And again, these are going to be, between your 9 and 9:30. At 9:15, now going back over to McCarthy's, you're going to have, all right here, 9:15. Now, again, this is where the prosecution gets creative. What ends up happening is that at 9:15, John hands Karen her second tall cylinder glass with soda water with a lime. Again, you'd have to get the receipt of that to see if there was vodka in it. And let's just say there were, so that would be drink 1, that's drink 2. Okay. Then someone hands Karen shot glass number 1. It's a shorter glass. And what she does is she pours it into a tall cylinder glass. Now, it is the same shot glass. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So at 9:15, she pours it from the little glass into the bigger, taller glass. At 9:20, someone hands Karen shot glass number 2. She pours it into a tall cylinder glass. Now, we don't know if actually somebody's handling her a glass or if it's the same shot glass that she's deciding when she wants to pour it into these tall cylinder glasses. But we at least know that then a bartender does hand her a third tall cylinder glass. As that's happening at 10 p.m., Brian Albert, okay, so we got 9:15, 9:20, 9:33, 9:50, 9:57. I know there's people out there that will take their own little if I don't get a strong enough drink, I've done it before. I was like, here, I just want a shot of vodka. And then I'm going to pour it in because you guys, whatever. Or sometimes if they have hard pours, I'm like, Jesus, just, I'll pour my stuff in myself. But something weird was going on with that in terms of how she was dividing up her drinks that night. Because if you're going to take a shot, I would just take a shot. Why am I pouring it into a different glass to do all that? That doesn't make any sense. So I think that when you actually break down that footage, I think the defense is going to have a field day with that. Because if you pay attention to the wording that they use in their little write-up, it's fuckerage. Moving on. At 10 o'clock, I'm not sure if people know this, but Brian Albert drives what I believe is separately after he gets back from a trip from NYC. He went to New York, what I believe was New York City. But he was in New York. Now, the only way this could be getting mixed up is if it was actually Brian Higgins that did that. But from all accounts, based on what Nicole has said, that Brian was the one that was out of town in New York. So Brian and Nicole arriving separately to the Waterfall. Jen, I believe, has a kid that plays basketball, a daughter, and so does the Nicholas and Karina people. Now, 10:40 is when they leave the bar, which is Karen and John leave McCarthy's. Okay, and that's at 10:40. I said it before. I said that was a very long time to take to get from 10:40 then to be on the cameras and the health data at 10:54 to be walking then into Waterfall, because it's not that far. It's like and that's why I said, do any one of these people smoke? are they smokers? Because that 14 minutes, it should have never taken that long. But if they're smoking, that could be why. Now, so again, at 10:54, both Karen and John arrive at the waterfall. Now, they don't ever break down who's getting drinks and when. So what I have open here is any type of waterfall drinking, okay? That's because I'm not just concerned with the amount of alcohol that, Karen and John were consuming, but I'm interested in the whole party, okay? Now, at 12:10, the waterfall camera has Karen with 2 other women leaving, okay? And at 12:10, 12:19, the health data of Jen's phone has her registering 154 steps. So that means the moment that she's leaving the waterfall bar and, she gets in her car and everything like that, her ticker's already started. And then when she gets out of her car, but that's the time frame of that 154. Now at 12:11, John is seen separately. John is seen leaving the bar separately and walks to Karen's car and gets out of Karen's car. 12:11 to 12:21. Now, in Matt McCabe's testimony, he said when he actually was hanging back and talking to the people that were in the band, there was 4 people that were in a band that night. They were there listening to a band. If anybody knows it in chat, if you know the band that was playing, I'm actually trying to talk to some of the band members. If you know the band, make it easy for me. Next, so he arrives to his car where Jen is already in it, and Jen is on the phone with John. And that phone call would take place at 12:14. Okay. At 12:14, both things happen, which is a text and a call. But according to Jen's Life 360 app, okay, it is showing that it's leaving, like that it's moving. 12:14, John's phone has a text recorded at 12:14, as well as a phone call. And then Jen's phone has a text message, or I'm sorry, has a phone call. And these would be like this. The text is John, the text Jen, where to? Then John receives a call at 12:14, and it's for 44 seconds. All right. Then Jen McCabe deletes on her end that 44-second call, but it would be on John's, phone. And we have at 12:15, the Canton Library wants to say that we have the cam and it's a black SUV and it looks like it could be Karen's. Well, I hate to break this down to you guys, but everybody that is in that circle drives these black SUVs. So just saying. So that's being seen at 12:15, they say, and 12:17, that's the Canton Library, and then Temple Cam. Then at 12:18, based on Jen's phone, her Life 360 app as well, have her arriving, okay? She's going to start taking steps. Jen McCabe arrived at 34 Fairview Road, okay? Then at 12:18, this is when John's phone and Jen's phone from their phone data, okay, at 12:18, John received then that it was a 36-second call, all right, 36 seconds. Jen deletes that 36-second call. And this call would not be present in the write-up that the prosecution did. So let me just show you guys. something with this. I got this from the Commonwealth. Take a look. Okay. Right here. When they write up their little version of events here, according to Matt, as McCabe was arriving at her vehicle, she received a text message from Mr. O'Keefe saying where to at 12:14 a.m. Ms. McCabe replied with the address of 34 Fairview Road. Yeah, but that would not happen at 12:14. Okay. Her replying of 34 Fairview Road was not at 12:14. What they are leaving out here is, so it says Mr. O'Keefe called Ms. Cabe to ask more specifically where the house was located. That's not true. Okay. This is the actual order. The order is they're on the phone 2 different times here, of which the police only put in that they talked at this whole 12:18. That's when the text was sent from Jen to, it's like if you text somebody and then you're like, just screw it, I'm just going to call them. Or if you text me and instead of me returning your text, I just call you. So that's what happened is when he said where to, John says where to, she calls him. Then it isn't until she arrives at 12:18 to the house does she write that 34 Fairview. Okay. Because her probably drunk ass sees it and it was like, oh, let me just, write this address in there. But we'll come back to this to show how this is just, they're completely missing stuff. Oopsies. Now going back to the screen. Again, hello, welcome everybody. Right here. Okay, 12:19. The GPS pings John's location, and it says that John's phone pings for the first time in the area of 34 Fairview Road. Okay. And then 12:21, I have to pay attention to this, is really, really important. 12:21, a lot of things happen, but I had to get it narrowed down to the actual second. 12:21 in 05 seconds. Okay. And this is 12:21 in 10 seconds because this matters. I went and checked out the layout of the house. Okay. And basically what this is saying is that John has 5 seconds to start walking before within 5 seconds, then he is starting to make his first either going up or down a set of, stairs. And so this got me thinking. Once I, broke it all down, I thought that's why it's showing you that like that. So 12:21 in 5 seconds. John's phone is the health data, and it says that it begins to take its 80 steps. Okay. And this would occur between 12:21 and 5 seconds and 12:24 and 22 seconds. This means that within 5 seconds of him beginning to take his steps, he is also then going to go into that he is either ascending or descending a flight of stairs. So when you actually look at the house layout, so I'm going to pull up this house layout just so, if you guys don't know it, let me see how I'm going to do this. Basically, right when you go into the house, if you go in the front door, you have an option to just literally go right up the stairs. Okay. Or you can literally, you know how when you go up a set of stairs, if you have a basement in the house, usually the stairs are right underneath that. There's just going to be a door, kind of like you just take a couple more steps. And there's going to be a door so you can go right downstairs. Well, that's the layout of this house. But the kicker is that if John was to get out of his car that would be on the street, okay, he'd have to be running to get into that house and it'd be touching a set of flight of stairs. All right. Versus, let's say if John and Karen Reed pulled into the driveway, all right, and he gets out of the vehicle. Because the storyline is that they didn't know if it was the right house. And John was supposed to go in and make sure that it was the right house. And then she was supposed to then, you know, he was going to like come and grab her and then they would go in. So I want you to keep that in the back of your minds here when this is being broke down. So 12:21, again, the highlight on it in 5 seconds. Then he's getting onto stairs. Now, it says that between 12:21 and 12:24, that's when all of the floors going up and down. Okay. And what I believe is that he goes down. Okay. Then he comes back up. And then he attempts to go halfway down and then back up. Again, you would need to have, I mean, I'm not qualified to be an expert, but that's the question for an expert, because when you talk about 3 floors, you know, you can't go, it doesn't make sense if John would have went, you know, down to come back up, then he what goes to the upstairs part. I mean, that there would be a total of 4 and there's only 3. So that has to be explained. Okay. But it all happens within the 12:21 to 12:24. Now, at 12:21, there's a text message though. And that is Jen texts John, you know, here. Okay. And then Nagel's statement, this is the kid that came and picked up, was supposed to pick up his sister. His sister at 12 says, hey, I want to ride home, you know? And it was probably because like all the adults are coming home. Who knows though? But he arrives, and so therefore I put his time slot about arriving based on his statement that he was face to face with allegedly Karen Reed and John's SUV when it turned onto the road. So, so that's why that's there. Now, this is very important. Immediately after he does his 80 steps and the 3 floors in that time period, okay? At 12:24 to 12:31 and 12:25 to 12:35, John's phone and Jen's phone, as well as her watch, they are both not moving at the same time for this period of time. Okay. So John's phone doesn't move for 5 to 6 straight minutes. Answers Jen's call and has already traveled, you know, his 3 flights of stairs. So during the 12:21 to 12:24, when he's moving around, he answered that text message. And then, or he would have already answered the call. But here for Jen doesn't move for 10 straight minutes, during which she calls John at 12:29. And that's a phone call that they put in there, and they say, oh, she says, oh, that must have been a pocket dial or something like that. And Jen can't be walking over to the door to see anything. All right. So this is important because she's not moving with her watch or her phone from 12:25 to 12:35, when she is claiming that she's standing over by the door, walking to the kitchen window, and she's looking out, trying to observe what's going on outside. Well, guys, that's flat out not possible. So that is totally going to help the defense right here. All of this stuff right here, you're going to be able to show that Jen, were you laying on your back, getting it on? Were you sitting down on a couch, or were you standing still for 10 straight minutes? Okay. He ran in the house. He had no coat on. That makes sense to me. Totally makes sense. Because he only has 5 seconds to do it. And then he's hitting one of the stairs, in which I believe the downstairs. All right. According to Olivia, great question there, but according to the expert that I've spoke with, it could be ascending or descending. So that's why I don't want to speak on that. But great question there. But that part right there about so think about this. Think about, you're right next to John. Okay. You're right next to him. 12:29. He hasn't moved from 12:25 or from 12:24 to 12:31, and you haven't moved from 12:25 to 12:35. You guys are basically, it's like if I was like, oh hey, okay, yeah, we're here, like, and we're sitting on the couch, talking, or we're just standing in the same spot, but literally Jen has to be doing nothing. Like, she's not moved, like she's not walking for 10 straight minutes. All right. So then check this out. Now, this is what makes sense to me. If it, in fact, John was supposed to come in, okay, this is what I got to do a lot of times. Hey, oh my God, I got to pee. Where's your bathroom? I got to pee. So I run in, oh my God, I got to pee. So then, okay, hey, there's a bathroom upstairs, let's go use that one. Or there's a bathroom, you know what I mean? So immediately John goes to the bathroom. All right. And then after he goes to the bathroom, which would make sense, take a look at this. So 12:21 to 12:24, he's getting out of the car. He's flying into the house. It's snowing, right? It's cold. And what do you do after you've been drinking? Oh my God, I got to fucking pee. So he goes and he uses the bathroom. Great. Then, so he pees, he comes out. All right. And then, he would go down the stairs or up the stairs and then comes back down. And then he's with Jen. Okay. And she's like, where's Karen? Oh, well, she's outside. She wanted to make sure that I had the right house or whatever. Okay. And because he takes steps after he does the floor. After he does the floor, he's like, there's like 30-second different here. So after he's done with the floors that he does, he still has 30 seconds where he's making his steps. Okay. And if it is true that he is supposed to go and tell her to come back inside, all right. Now, the layout of the house is that there's a bathroom back by the back door. All right. And, if this is true and he went over there and then, Karen's over there or Jen's over there. And so she tells him to go out the back door, because it's just right there. Oh, I'll just go out here and I'll go grab her. Okay. But if he goes out the back door, that's where the dog would be. Okay. And in the grand jury testimony, what happened was when Brian got home, he let his dog out to go to the bathroom. All right. So during the grand jury testimony, he says and he testifies, Brian Albert said, that's what you do. When you come home, what do? You go and you get your dog and let your dog out. And it's a fenced in yard, so your dog's just out there. And so if John went out the back, just not, you know what I mean? Everybody's drinking, right? I think everyone's pretty fucked up. That's just my personal opinion. Having a good time. And has an altercation with the dog, and he is like pounding on the dog. Then, hey, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And then they, go after him because why the hell are you getting on my dog? Type of thing. And it just, took its own course from there. I'm saying that is a possibility. If and in fact, he just went out that way to go out the sliding door out the back to go around to go get, Karen. I'm just throwing that out there as to how he would have came in contact with that dog. So moving on though, just to keep that in the back of your minds. But the most important thing here though is that Jen's phone and her watch, they don't move. All right, 10 straight minutes. So this whole thing of what I'm going to show you, they're trying to say, which is, so check this out. This is their version of events. Let's share this screen. Again, I got this from the Commonwealth. All right. As Miss McCabe was arriving in her vehicle, she received a text message from Mr. O'Keefe saying, "Where to?" at 12:14 a.m. Miss McCabe replied with the residence, "That's not true." She got on the phone. Mr. O'Keefe called Miss McCabe to ask more specifically where the house was located. While inside the residence, following her arrival there, Miss McCabe observed a black SUV consistent with Miss Reed's vehicle. Everybody had black SUVs. A 2021 black Lexus SUV. Well, guess what? She, in her interview with all the actual police officers that were on scene, she says, "I am horrible with cars. So when I looked out, I couldn't even tell you what the make and models. I'm horrible with cars." That's what she says to the officers. Okay? That she doesn't do well with that type of stuff. All right? So this whole thing that she is, no. From her vantage point at the front door of the home, see that right there? From her vantage point at the front door of the home, bullshit, because she was not walking or moving for those 10 minutes. Okay? Then Miss McCabe texted Mr. O'Keefe at 12:31 a.m. stating, "Hello." Now, mind you, remember, let's go back to my thing now to show you guys that this is not, in fact, the case. Think about her texting at 12:31 to say hello. All right. So stop sharing. Share this one. This one. So at 12:29 is this call that she claims to that it was a butt dial. Okay, John's Health. They're not moving. So no one's moving here. Look at when she makes that text message at 12:31 here. This text saying hello. She's sitting down. Hasn't moved yet because this is her health data right here. Hasn't moved. I could think also like she's in a bedroom, like, hello, you just left to go because you had to go pee. Where the fuck are you? 12:31, John's phone, health data, 36 steps, okay? 36 steps between 12:31 and 12:32. Hello. Well, after the hello, John's phone registered walking, taking steps. Then 12:45. Oh, this actually got, let's go down here. That got bumped up. That shouldn't be there. At 12:40, John's phone gets a text with, "Pull up behind me." Now, go back to what I just said. If he's like, I got to go out there because I got to make sure it was the right house. Okay, it's the right house. Then he leaves to, go out. But here, she doesn't text this to him to pull up behind. All right. because I will give her this because I'm a fair player. All right. If John goes out the back door, okay, but now remember she's sitting when he would have done this at the 12:31 mark, and she's like waiting, and she's like, where is this guy? Like, what the hell are they doing? Then by the time she stands up and to do what she would do, which is to go over to right here, she texts him at 12:31 to say hello. Again, doesn't make any sense. 12:40, which would have been 5 minutes after she got up from moving, or from sitting or standing in the same position for 10 straight minutes. 12:40. It's on John's phone. She texts him and says, pull up behind me. He began walking and taking his steps at 12:31 again to like leave out the house. Then this whole thing, pull up behind me. Now, I believe it could be one of two things. What I just said, which is, well, she can just pull up behind me, like whatever. Or we do this all the time as humans. She texted the wrong person. Okay. There were people coming over there that night. All right. People text the wrong people all the time. And so this pull up behind me, was it actually intended for somebody else? Next, 12:41. And now this is where she goes crazy deletions. Jen McCabe calls John, goes unanswered at 12:41. Okay. That's a deleted call. 12:41 again, and this would be like 50 some seconds. She begins walking. "16 steps in those 2 minutes. 12:41 calls. 12:41 calls. 12:43. She texts John, hello. 12:45 calls. Or was this another text? That's the text one. Hello. Again, these are calls that she deleted. So she calls him 12:41 2 times. As she starts to walk, she's calling him like, where the fuck are you? You know what I mean? You were just here. Like, where are you? All right. Again, because I believe that he went out the back door. That's just my personal opinion. At 12:43, again, called. 12:45, texted hello. All right. 12:46, calls him. Goes unanswered. 12:47, calls him. 12:50, calls him. Now let me ask you guys a question. Why wouldn't you, if you saw if you're doing this and you're walking all over, but yet you think that her SUV's out there, why wouldn't you go out to the car? Like, if you're claiming what you're saying, which is you're walking over to the window, you see this, well then why are you blowing up this man? Because guess what her narrative is to the detectives, the first responders. She never says that she calls him like that. She never says that she calls him all those times. But there wouldn't be anything wrong with that if you think about it. She deletes these calls, you guys. The cops know that she deletes the calls because they ran a forensic download of her phone on February 2nd. You understand that? February 2nd. She deletes 17 calls that she made to John's phone, this woman. She deletes all of her calls to Karen except for 1 or 2. Now check this out. between 12:50 and 2:27, I'm still, I'll be uploading that stuff. But at 2:27, she does that. How long does it take to die in the cold? And she deletes that. Okay. And now the prosecution is saying that the reason that they don't have that is because the defense used a newer version of a extraction with like Cellbrite or whatever. Good luck. Then here we go. 5:04, John's phone. Missed call. See these right here? Missed call, missed call, missed call. 5:04, 5:08, 5:09, 4:59. I said, why is this out of order? Why is the 4:59 one not in the right sequence? Like it should be up there. But if you go and you look at his phone records, it's out of sequence. Very, very, very interesting. But these calls right here, they would be deleted on, I'm sorry, this is actually from, yeah, this is from John's phone, but these are not found in Jen's phone because she deleted them, but they are found in the extraction. But this call is out of order. And so Alan Jackson needs to look as to why. Those are missed calls, okay? Now, let me ask you guys something. When do you think, why would you delete these calls if Karen Reed called you and was like saying that she can't find John or whatever? Like, wouldn't like, so you call him. You know what I mean? To me, that's normal. Why would you delete those, right? Then again, I'm leaving from 5 to 6 out because that's the next part I'm going to be uploading because I wanted to work on the 6:03 with this is your arriving to the body. Okay. Again, welcome to the transparency. What's up, my people? Sorry, I'm just doing a lot of explaining it here. So here we go. Again, thank you for anybody that's bought memberships, is a new member. Again, I'm sorry, I can't look at chat and do this, or we'll never get through it. Here you go. All right. Again, this is not complete. All right, this takes a minute to do so, but here we go. 6:03 to 6:04. Jen's watch, 29 steps. So Jen McCabe gets out of the car and walks over to the body before calling 911, and that's why it only registers on her watch and not her phone because the phone was in the car. Okay. 6:03 to 6:07. Jen's phone from her phone records. She calls 911 and then deletes the phone call she deletes it from her phone. Okay. Now check this out. 6:04 to 6:12. This is Jen's phone and watch. This is the data. She gets 81 steps in, okay? 81 steps. Jen only registers 81 steps in the same time period that John's phone will register 496. And it's because I believe that Jen McCabe passed off the phone. And I believe that because of the data. Here we go. Check this out. At 6:04, just after, okay, Jen is over top of the body, okay? She is going to be making that 911 call, and all of a sudden, her phone, her watch, and John's phone, okay, start all moving. While John's in the snow, John's phone while his body is unresponsive in the snow and on top of his phone allegedly. And immediately after Jen arrives, it begins just taking, 496 steps in a total of 7 minutes. Okay. Again, this is immediately after calling 911. Immediately after calling 911, Jen places a call to Nicole Albert, homeowner and wife of Brian. She deletes that. 6:08. This is your first responding officer. Is it Sarf? First to arrive, saw 3 people standing over the body, felt the body, then went to get AED, but Canton Fire Department arrived. Then he took Karen into the back of another cop cruiser because this was all immediately happening, and that would be Officer Good, or does he go by Goody? So Officer Seraph, Mulaney, and Goody or Good, they basically all arrived there like bang, bang, bang. Okay. They were dispatched there at 6:05. Jen had just enough time to get her happy ass up over to that house to get that phone in the house. And that's why I believe that she was, calling Nicole, and she called her twice. Jen's phone. So you have, these are your officers. Oh, this is supposed to be red. Okay, now check this out. Your officer, Mulaney, again, dispatched at 6:05 a.m. When he arrived, he said that he saw Seraph was on scene. They were both dispatched at the same time, he said. And then Mulaney saw one woman giving CPR. Okay, so his version is not 3 people were standing over the body. Okay, this is really, really important because they're arriving like simultaneously. But there was only one woman giving CPR. And then the Canton Fire Department took over just as he was getting out of his cruiser. Because then Mulaney, he then helped, okay, with Canton Fire, helped get John onto the stretcher. All right. He helped get him on the stretcher. This is the police officer that helped him get him on the stretcher. All right. And this is really, really important. These details on how this went down and how people were separated and where they were because of what they try to say that somebody else said. Okay. Now, at the same time, this is all 6:08, 6:08, 6:08. Now, mind you, remember, you got Jen over here, 6:04 to 6:12, 81 steps. Now, 6:08, like I said, she called her sister again. Then at 6:08, she also takes a screenshot of Albert's contact info. She takes a screenshot at 6:08. So look she doesn't want to be the person that calls him. You understand what I'm saying? She takes a screenshot of it to then show this to who I believe none other than Carrie Roberts. Okay, to send it to her. To send this screenshot to her. Why is she taking a screenshot of the contact info of Brian Alberts? Then 6:12. Okay, guys, this is all being beefed up as I do things. 6:12. Jen's watch, health data, 3 steps. Jen takes 3 steps without her phone because it doesn't count those. Again, 6:12 to 6:17. 63. 6:15 to 6:21. John's phone. Now, John was up and, they went over there with that stretcher, and immediately, it was they got that stretcher out. They're putting John on it because they begin to they don't work on John in the cold, guys. They need to get John in that ambulance to work on him. Okay, you don't want to do that in the cold. And that's exactly what they do here. So anybody that's out there saying that that his phone is in getting 496 steps because they're doing CPR, I'm sorry, but that's just not right. You're wrong. And so I love you for thinking about that, and I went and I took it to somebody, and it's just not right. And John would have been, those steps would have been going before, okay? Because Karen Reed was at the body first doing whatever she was doing, all right? And so if that was the case, that those steps would have started before Jen gets right there to snatch up the phone, just so you guys can see like the order of this. Back over here. Now at 6:15 and to 6:21, John's health data 180. Now, mind you, John's getting picked up and put on a stretcher, does not have his phone on him, and he's being put into the back of the ambulance. All right. 6:19 to 6:26, Jen's phone. Look at that, just 28 steps. What I'm trying to show here is that Jen McCabe has not taken enough steps at this point to be in sole possession of John's phone based on simple math. It's because Jen McCabe had his phone, got it, and then took that motherfucker inside or passed it off to, I don't believe Carrie Roberts. I believe that she passed it off to the people that were inside that home, somebody that was inside that home. She ran it in there, and then she came right back out. Just that simple. And all the steps show. So John's phone, 180, and all that Jen took, 28. So somebody else is making these steps with his phone after she passed it off. And no, Proctor doesn't have it yet. This is the order of everybody that's on scene. And Proctor, you're going to see this right here. At 6:23, Jen called Brian. Jen deleted this from her phone. 6:23, Jen's phone, cell bright. Now, how long does it take to, die in cold? How long does it take to digest food? How long does it take to die in cold? That all happens at 6:23 to 6:24. Okay. And now I want you to come and I want you to see what, this is really, really important. Remember, Jen says, Karen was acting hysterical. Karen was doing this and Karen was doing this. And no, Karen's in the back of Karen is probably like, oh my God, but she's in the back of a cop car. Okay, guys. So anybody that says that, do you think that Karen had the phone? No, Karen's in the back of a trooper. Okay. They put her in the back of the car to keep her warm, and they were trying to settle her down. But they also just kind of like let her be for a little bit. So this talk of Karen ever in the back of Carrie Roberts' vehicle, flat out fucking lies. She was in the back of a cop car. Okay. I'm going to show you guys. Stop sharing screen. I'm going to share this screen. Again, I got this straight from the Commonwealth. All right. While inside the residence following her arrival there, McCabe, okay, she says, whatever it is she wants to say here. I just want you to see what my notes are when I do this. Jen McCabe called John O'Keefe this time, 44 seconds. Matt McCabe said when he got into the car, Jen was talking to John. Jen texted John at 12:18 with the address. John then calls Jen, and they talk for 36 seconds at 12:18. Again, not in there. 12:21 a.m., John starts taking steps, and within 5 seconds, he is doing a flight of stairs. The police leave out of the timeline the 12:29 a.m. call between Jen and John because Jen says it was a pocket dial. Well, we don't know that. John has to be close within proximity to begin taking his steps within 5 seconds, or he's running to be able to immediately start hitting the stairs. Just keep that in mind. Jen was standing still or sitting down or laying on her back for 10 minutes straight, 12:25 to 12:35. This is an undisputed fact. Okay. She has a watch on, guys. She has her phone. Neither one of them this bee does not move. So she couldn't have been walking around looking out the window during this time. Boom, there it is. Period. Right there disproves whatever the fuck she's saying. Then John had completed his flight of stairs by 12:24 and 37 seconds, just 20 seconds before Jen and his phones don't move for him 6 straight minutes and her 10 minutes because they are together. Jen calls John at 12:29 when he is right next to her, which to me means like a phone in the back of the pocket and you laying down and you start getting it on. I just wanted to add that in there. So this whole talk of what they're trying to skip out from 12:18 and they're trying to go to 12:30. She's like, hello, B, he's standing with you. So this text at 12:31, literally, that's when he starts moving. Again, the police don't put in here what she's like saying, pull up, park behind me, referencing her vehicle. Well, what about the police don't put in 12:41, 12:41, 12:43, 12:46, 12:47, 12:50, 12:50. She calls him unanswered. And then all this bullshit? No. Sorry about your time. Now we'll go back over here and we'll show you this. Lana is the one talking. Lana brains. Yes, hi. Is Lana the one talking? Yeah. So here you go. Then I'm going to share this back again. And we'll go to this. Okay. So then you have like just blowing up your narrative right there, like pull behind me. Yeah. Okay. So at 6:24, Officer Lank arrived on scene at 34 Fairview, and the victim was being treated in the ambulance. Okay. When Lank arrived and left shortly after Lank arrived, meaning the ambulance. Now, it takes 17 to 19 minutes to get to the hospital. All right. I was able to find John's admittance wristband, and he was admitted at 6:49. That's what the wristband says. Okay. So Officer Lank said, hey, John was in there. Okay. John's health data, 6:26 to 6:34, 173 steps. Again, proving that John's phone is not with Karen Reed in the back of a cop cruiser. It's with somebody else that Jen McCabe gave the goods to. Then Jen's watch, 190 steps. Okay. Now, this is where it's going to get super interesting. 6:30. I pegged the ambulance leaving because I did simple math. But then come to find out, I was able to find this report by Officer Lank, and it's money because the ambulance, I believe, leaves at 6:30, and that's what would make you be able to arrive at 6:38 when they slap, or I'm sorry, 6:49, and that's when they are slapping him at the hospital with that bracelet, and he's being admitted. Okay? That's how I'm able to get to that, and it coincides with the 6:24 that it was just, leaving there shortly after. 6:32, Jen's phone, 177 steps. Or steps. 177 steps. 6:35 to 6:35. She does this, check this out. Jen travels one floor in 3 seconds. Okay. Could she have possibly gone up and then back down half the way or vice versa? Or like I said, she's running up those steps, like to go to her sister's room? That's what people think, but no, whatever. We'll just show you what the data says. 6:36 to 6:43. Okay. John's phone, 192 steps. Right? 6:38 to 6:47. Jen's watch, 91 steps. Now, what happens here is when Officer Mulaney, 6:05 dispatched, that guy was already on scene. They were just there at the same time. The reason that Officer Lank, you're going to see when he shows up, because he was called by Officer Goody or Good, whatever he goes by. So Officer Lank was called by Officer Goody and told the situation and stated that it was a Boston police officer in the snow. This is really important because this information was known at 6:08. Okay, so that means on the phone call or immediately when the police arrived there, that they were being told this, like, hey, this is the Boston cop. Okay. So Officer Lank was told this when he was on the phone by Officer Goody and when they talked at 6:08, just so you guys know. And now these guys that we're talking about here, these officers, these are all Canton. This is Canton. All right. It isn't until here where were we? So at 6:30, the ambulance goes. Jen's phone is walking. Watch is walking. John's phone's walking. Then at 6:38, Canton police, and this would be Officer Lank, reported that the state police, he did it. Officer Lank reported that the state police CPAC unit was contacted and that Proctor then called back to him within a few minutes. So at this timestamp, though, at 6:38, that's when the phone call went into the state police about this case. So from 6:03 to 6:38, the state police were not contacted yet. It's very, very important for a timeline. Okay. Now, I'm going to read you guys something. Let's see. All right, sorry about that. I might grab a water. Oh, yeah, I'll have Turtle Boy on. I'll throw down with Turtle Boy. Turtle Boy, what's up? We'll do a live. Don't worry. It'd probably be lit as a tit. I think he's done excellent work. I mean, he's rowdy. He's rowdy. All right, back at it. So it's important for the, like, who was instructing who to do what. So, you know, who was talking to this person, who was talking to this person, who told somebody to do this, who told somebody to do that. And all of the reports from the Canton police are completely different than what they go with in that written up bullshit. And that's going to be problematic for them. Very, very problematic. So it was actually nice to see that Canton wrote up reports, because the last time that I did a case in Pennsylvania where the state police were involved, none of the local cops wrote anything up. And I'm like, what the fuck? But here, there's actually, you know, supplemental reports done by these 3 officers, which are important, because the state police, they can't just go with a narrative. They're going to have a hard time around it. So with that said, so here we go. So the Canton police at 6:38, this is a huge time, because this is when the phone call, this is when the report goes out of, you know, they're notifying the state police. All right. Now look at this. Jen does not make any moves for 13 straight minutes. Okay, beginning at 6:47. Why? Because they're being interviewed, guys. But guess who's being interviewed as well? Jen's being interviewed. Carrie Roberts is being interviewed, but Brian and Nicole are being interviewed. So anybody that says that nobody went to that house that morning, that is 100% false. They went in that house that morning. They talked to Brian Alberts. They talked to Nicole. They talked to Jen. They talked to Carrie. They all were in that house. Okay. And now check this out. When Canton Police Department Officer Mulaney arrived, okay, he was advised from Officer Seraph to assist in getting witness information, okay? So he spoke to Jen McCabe and asked her who the victim was, and she identified him as O'Keefe, okay? Jen then explained, you know, that a group of people had gone out to the Waterfall Grill and Bar. Jen stated that she and her husband left the bar at approximately 12, and they went to her brother-in-law's house, which was here. Jen said that, you know, O'Keefe, John, and his girlfriend, they were invited, you know, to come, but they never arrived. Jen told them that I've known the victim, you know, long time, and she thought that he was. They asked her, this officer Mulaney asked her, how long do you think that he was possibly laying here? Okay, and she said, like, I don't know. He was dropped off here by Reed like 12 or 1. Then she says, that she was called at like 5 o'clock in the morning by, Karen asking, where John was. At this time, when I was interviewing, Mulaney says, when I was interviewing Jen, Sergeant Good arrived on scene. And so that's important to note, is that Mulaney starts talking to Jen before Good arrives. Okay. Then he goes over and he starts talking to this guy claims that while he was talking to Jen, that Karen became hysterical and distraught and was repeatedly screaming, like, is he dead? That's my boyfriend. Sergeant, Goody, whatever he goes by, then advised Roberts to take Karen home. So right when Good gets there, he's like, you know what, here, just take her home. And so after Karen and Roberts leave, Canton Control advised the officers that Karen was making suicidal statements to her father. And that then Kerry Roberts then brought Karen Reed back to the scene, where then Sergeant Good or Goody asked, Officer Mulaney to fill out a Section 12 paperwork, which was so that she could be transported to the Good Samaritan Hospital. But this was because they said that there was reported that she was having suicidal, saying suicidal stuff to her dad on the phone. Now, check this out. Because I like to listen to what people say and then put it on a map, put it on a timeline. So this is what I have. At 7:58, John's Health, 1 floor. 6:43, 1 floor. 6:47, Jen doesn't move for 13 straight minutes because she was being interviewed in the Alberts residence. Okay? With the Alberts. Now, you guys remember how the Albert said that we didn't even know that John and Karen were coming over. Well, that's a bunch of fucking bullshit, because it's in a report that you did. It's in a report that you did. Let's see here. Officer Lank, after talking to Albert, or after talking to Jen, he said that while on scene, all of my attempts to speak with, Reed were unsuccessful. She was just too hysterical and difficult to control. The only statement that she was able to relay to the Canton police officers while on scene was that she did not remember ever being at 34 Fairview Road. Reed later made statements via telephone to her parents threatening suicide. Do you understand that came from Carrie? Who'd that come from, that she was on the phone saying that she was going to commit suicide while talking to her dad? Where would that come from? Because none of the police heard it, by the way. This is hearsay. Now, Lank went into the 34 Fairview Road house and spoke with the homeowners, Brian and Nicole. Brian said that they had seen the victim at Waterfall Bar and Grill and had spoken to him. Brian said that he did not know the party really well, but knew that he was friends with Jen, his sister-in-law. Brian and Nicole recalled that the victim had been welcomed to come to their house, but he never arrived. Brian said that he thought that John seemed to be fine at the bar and there were no issues whatsoever. Now, Matthew McCabe at some point gets his happy ass in a car and he drives over because he is there for this interview. Okay? Because Matt McCabe says that he also observed the vehicle pull up and out in front of the house, but never saw either party get out of the vehicle. Matt also just reiterated what Brian said, that John seemed to be fine at the bar and that there was really nobody else in the establishment other than their group. Next, I asked Brian and Nicole who else was here that night. And aside from the names already mentioned, the following people were Brian Alberts Jr., the daughter, Caitlin Albert, Julie Nagel, Brian's friend, and Brian Higgins, who was a friend of Brian Sr. They did tell me that their daughter, Caitlin, left the house around 12:15 a.m. when she was picked up by her boyfriend, Tristan. Well, still on scene, Gallagher, Good or Goody, and I, Link, we attempted to retrieve as much evidence as possible given the weather conditions. Gallagher was able to go and grab a leaf blower to blow away the top layers of the snow. We were able to observe a broken drinking glass and multiple patches of red, which appear to be frozen blood. We just put it all in red Solo plastic cups. What the fuck? At approximately 9 a.m., Officer Lank, I was contacted at the police station because, the scene was all cleared. I was contacted at the police station by none other than Jennifer McCabe. She asked me if it was possible to come back to 34 Fairview Road and speak with her. Lieutenant Gallagher and I both left immediately and arrived back at 34 Fairview just within a few moments. Again, this was at 9, so it only took him a few minutes to get back over there, but this was not till 9. Jen told us that she recalled something that she was not sure if we were aware of. She said that, Reed was driving around with her and Roberts, when they were looking for the victim. And she said something to the effect of, "I hope I didn't hit him." Jen told us that she made these statements again at the scene when the victim was discovered. She thought that, Karen may have made these statements in front of a police officer, but she was not sure. You bitch, liars. Jen McCabe calls back the police and tells them to come back to the house. Wait a second, though. That means nobody was there, right? You guys know that, right? So everybody had left. And that means, Proctor wasn't there yet. Then, you know what I wanted to know? I was like, I want to know about this, like I said, I'm going to be adding a bunch more onto my lovely timeline here. But I said, you know what? Where's this phone, bro? What is the custody of chain? Like what's the chain of custody on John's phone, man? And then I find it. Do you understand that with all those officers that were there, not a single one of them, nobody saw his phone. They were using a leaf blower, for heaven's sakes. But nobody said that they had secured in evidence a cell phone. Well, it would come up in let's see, what's his name? I got to keep all these people straight. So let's see. Oh, I think it was. It was some Dago name. I can say that because I'm Italian. Oh, it was. What the hell's his name? You guys know. Here, let me pull something up for you. Let's see. Do you guys know that they were trying to say that Karen they were trying to say that when Karen, after she had given mouth to mouth and was doing CPR or whatever, that she had, this is from Jen, this is how sick Jen is, that Jen says, oh my God, Karen all of a sudden starts saying stuff like, oh my God, look at me, I got my period. Do you understand what? Do you understand that that's in reports? That she had blood on her mouth. And that Carrie Roberts said, yeah, she had her hands up in the air and she's like, I got my period. Oh my God, I have my period. And there's blood on her mouth. You understand how sick these women are? Yeah. Why even say that? To embarrass the woman. To make it seem like she's so drunk. To embarrass her. Jen McCabe, you are one sick SOB. You are a sick puppy. Yeah, her and Carrie Roberts putting it in their reports to say that Karen has her hands up with blood on them and she had blood around her mouth and that she said that, oh my God, I have my period. I have my period. I think she is sick. And I would say, oh, I'd run from that broad. That broad's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But when I saw that, I said, this is insane. I said, these broads, to say that the woman was saying that. you can't even. Yeah, they made her look like an insane drunk murderer. Oh, they. And so when people ask me if they think, well, did something just go way wrong, or was this planned? I'm like, there's something mentally wrong with Jen. And if I was a betting woman, okay, did Jen have the hots for John? She's disgusting for repeating that. Oh, I'm coming to Boston. I'm coming to Boston. I will be there for the I believe that Karen Reed has a scheduled hearing. I know that Alan Jackson gets to, I think the courts are being cool because he's in LA. So hopefully I don't know, it lets people Zoom and stuff like that. But I'm definitely coming there. I kind of don't like to tell people when I go places and just pop up. But what's going on in this area is wrong. And I know that I just proved it here with doing a complete, I'm not even completed yet, guys. Wait till this is complete. But this is sick, what they did to this woman. I couldn't imagine what Karen has been through, the lies. I hope she sues the living fuck out of every single one of these fucks. That Jen was up all night, literally pacing around. Her aviators look like shit too. I could tell you so many stories about. Oh, yeah. I'd rather not hear the stories because I just think that she's Cocoa for Cuckoo Puffs and that she's psycho. But you see it. Guys, this is just wild. What I need to bring I was gonna bring some cowbells. Get the cowbells going. What do you think? Yeah, it's like Carrie, save yourself. These people are going down in flames. And if I was you, I'd be running on over to Alan Jackson and saying, Mr. Jackson, what can I do for you? Because I want to tell the truth. And go tell the truth and then move the fuck out of that town. More cowbells? I'm gonna go live from outside. I'll set up a stand though, and I'll let Turtle use the megaphone, and I'll be Nancy Grace, and I'll set up a pop-up. We'll treat it like Saturday college ESPN game day. We'll treat it like game day does. I'm gonna have to bring some security. Bring the cowbells. You think that McCarthy's or what is it, the Waterfall, will they sponsor us? They let us go live there. Oh wow, these people, woo! Yeah, John, they're gonna have it. It's not even it'll be done. I would say this timeline will be done in about probably 7 more days. I've only worked on it for I don't know, a couple days. This is my forte. So if you give me data, if you give me your discovery and you're innocent, I can prove it. I have that much confidence. But Nancy Grace, yeah, you like that? I'll just give it. It was a joke. I challenged Nancy Grace to a debate one night. because I was like, you don't even know that answer, girl. But I respect Nancy in the terms of like her career. Like clearly she's where she's at because she's done something right, you know? So I respect people's careers. I respect their work. I respect their work ethic, but I think there's always a different way a different approach. But I'll debate any motherfucker in a couple of the cases that I do. And this is one that I'm confident in what I've done. This timeline is everything, and it's not even complete. Once it's complete, so what I do is I take like 4 different timelines that I'm working on, and then I merge them. So like I wanted everybody to be on the same one so that you knew what was going on at the same time. But without a doubt, they took his phone. I'm very curious if when Karen was calling him, if it was going straight to voicemail. I wonder if anybody tried to shut his phone off, you know, and then turned it on. The reason I asked that is because of the floor, the awkwardness of the floors, but we'll see. What about Wendy? Wendy's just dumb as fuck. That's what they have to say about Wendy. Wendy, your theory is wild. You know, I thought it was said it was going to voicemail. Yeah, see, that's interesting to me because I think that it could have been shut off, and then it was turned back on mid steps with good old Jen. I'm telling you, they changed their mind. They had the phone and they were going to keep the phone, and they should have. But they decided that they were going to give up the phone because they were going to say that he never came inside, so why wouldn't he have his phone? You know what I mean? But I believe that they were going to keep the phone, and then they decided against doing that. That's my personal opinion. But it was definitely, I mean, you can't deny the fact of when that phone starts moving and when Jen is over the body to snatch it. Also, guys, the best part about it is that guess who has to give the phone to Proctor? It is none other than Jen or the Alberts. And guess what Jen says on the record? That the phone was under his body. How would she know where it was? And none of the police officers found it under his body. How? Oh, because you have it. Because you had it. And that's on a report. So get the layout of the house. I have the layout of the house. I have it. Apple data does not lie yet, but people do. Yes, we need Apple battery health data. That's what all this is from. Wait till you see what I add in about what she does all night. I mean, I'm wondering if her husband knew. Matt, do you know that Jen was like wanting to just let John beat it up? Because that's what I see going on here. Thanks, Miss Kelly. I appreciate that. These people lie. You know what's crazy is I don't think any of it was necessary. I mean, if you think that you're this protected, then you can they would have protected you with like the whole if your dog did attack somebody and then it just went, way south. Somebody put his body there, guys. That's why I believe his phone was turned off. Because while they would have been carrying him and walking him over to that area, it would have been registering on his phone. If his phone was in his pocket, it would have still been registering as his steps. So that's why I think that whoever carried him and laid him there, his phone would have had to be off in that situation because there's no steps that are registered after 12:31. So if they were calling and calling and calling like she was, I think she could have been calling to try to find out where his phone was, where it was, and maybe they were looking for his phone, so they were calling it. But there's no, if he would have been carried out with his phone on him in his pocket and it was on, those steps would have registered, and that's just not there. It's not on the health data. So he either just didn't have his phone on him when they carried him out there, or it was, I believe his phone was shut off at some point in time, because his health data does not register any steps from 12:31 until 6:04, 6:03. And if that phone was being moved around between 12:31 and 6:03, they shut it off. There was beef between John and the kid, I think. Yeah, I think the thing that's interesting is they try to make it seem like Colin was gone by 12:30, and I think that's when everything happened. Usually when people lie, they focus on certain timelines. It's just a habit to say, like, when you're going through your stuff, and they wanted to make it seem like he was home by 12:30, and I think that that's exactly when stuff happened. It was 12:30. Miss Kelly, you are smarter than go park the car in the Harvard Yard. I'm working on my Boston. One of my best friends lives in Boston. She's in here. Boston. Where are you at, Boston? Yeah, but no, a lot of time goes in behind the scenes to put all this stuff together. Repeatedly, people were telling me, hey, I wish you were really looking into the Karen Reed case. Well, I went ahead and I looked into it, and she's innocent, and I think I can prove it. I think I just did, but I'm saying I can even probably prove it more. So, Boston. You're from Boston. Boston, where you at, girl? I know. She was teaching me how to talk. She says, park the car in the Harvard Yard, right? Something like that. H-bag, thank you so much. Is that what that means? I'm horrible with that type of shit. Oh, it's Boston. Yeah, you guys are going to teach me how to speak Boston, okay? I'll teach you how to speak timelines. You teach me how to speak Boston. Yeah, but when he's in the ambulance, no one's walking, okay, except for his phone. They had, people had it. They were in panic mode. And I'm not a criminal, but anybody that is a criminal and you don't get rid of someone's phone, you're a fucking dumb criminal. I'm from Boston, but I moved to Mass now, 30 minutes away. Nice. Well, good. We're going to go on a tour day. Tour day Boston. I never thought I'd ever be saying I'd go to Canton, Massachusetts. Boston's going to love you. I already love Boston. And I'm a Patriots fan. Does that help? I'm a Bill Belichick fan. Love me some Bill Belichick. Brady's the GOAT. That should have been the Browns, though, so that's my only thing. Fucking Browns, that's my team. Cocksuckers. Yeah, they can do stuff like that. They normally can tell. The question is can forensics see if phones, when they turned off or on? Yeah, you should actually see the Murdoch murder case. You get yourself a good forensic. You know who I want to get on this case is Scott Roeder. So I reached out to Scott Roeder yesterday and I said, hey, I want you to come to Boston with me. He's the world's best crime scene reenactment. He does all the crime scene reenactments. And I want him to do a crime scene reenactment for Karen and to testify for her that the crime scene that they say happened, and that's just, he does shooting reenactments. He's done like what they're saying, that she just ran into him, and I don't know. Boston reminds me a lot like Cleveland, so that's where I grew up, Cleveland. Ask Wendy. Oh wait, you know what? I want to do something for you guys. I was told to go to the is it the Surviving the Survivor, and like an hour into it, is that when is Turtle Boy and Wendy on the same, like, aren't they on the same show together or something? Is that the, I want to, here, I'm going to put that up for 1 second. I'll do a reenactment of it really quick. Let's see here. Surviving this. Let's see. It was alive, wasn't it? Okay, so let's see which one we have here. Okay, here it is. Cool. Is this it? Oh, yeah, here we go.
Do you go by Turtle Boy strictly? Do you go by, I know your real name is Aiden. What do you prefer?
I prefer Doctor, but you can call me Turtle Boy if you like.
You can call me Doctor.
Doctor's great. I'll call you Doctor. So Doctor, and we have two other guests, Tom Simon from the FBI, Lara Uretzian, a very skilled criminal defense attorney, and you know Wendy Murphy.
I know she lies. So you have nothing to back that up. Thank you. Now
so Turtle Boy, what is she lying about? And if you could counter her lies.
Well, for one thing, she says number one, she says that I'm being paid by the defense, that I'm some sort of paid PR firm. That is 100% false. Do you have anything that can back that up?
I said defense attorneys pay for people to elevate false stories. You can take that how you see it.
Whatever. Are you saying that David Yannetti and Alan Jackson are paying?
Wait a second. Who wants to pay me? Hey, hello, I'm available. Shit, I'm available. Come on. I run a nasty PR campaign. Wendy.
I said it's done in defense attorneys.
Is it done in this case? Is it done in this case?
Yes. All the time.
Is it done in this case? Yes or no? Is it done in this case? Yes or no?
Bank records, and I'll give you my opinion.
Bank records.
Okay, so you have nothing to back that up. Thank you. Now
give me your bank records, and I'll.
Number two, she also poo-pooed the trooper's name is Michael Proctor. Michael Proctor is a close family friend of both the Alberts and the McCabe's. There is a picture of him with Jennifer McCabe's two daughters on Facebook. She just lied. She said they're not his daughters. They are Jennifer McCabe's daughters. Have you guys actually seen the picture?
The picture that the judge was shown, the picture that the prosecution poo-pooed was a picture of a single daughter.
Nope.
And that one was demonstrably not.
You're just wrong. You're just 100% wrong.
Yeah, that's actually 100% wrong, because what the defense gave was multiple pictures in their exhibits of a fucking huge ass filing. That is wrong. Turboy is right. Okay, next.
Adding stories.
No.
I told you the defense has lied.
No. You talk a lot, Wendy. You talk a lot. It's my turn to talk. You're just talking. The judge did not call them liars.
Oh, but they did. Oh, but she did.
No, show me where the judge called them liar. Show me Proctor. And there are three girls in the picture. The girl in the foreground is his niece. That is not related to the McCabe's. The two girls in the background are Allie and Maddie McCabe. I apologize, Olivia. And can you do that? No, don't change the subject. Don't change the subject, Wendy. I called you out on a lie. I'm going to need you to admit you were wrong. Can you admit that these are Jen McCabe's kids? Can you admit that these are Jen McCabe's kids?
Squiggly pink line.
Blah, 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 blah. Can you admit these are...
All right. Turtle Boy Wendy. Turtle Boy and Wendy. Turtle Boy and Wendy.
Can you admit that these were... One thing at a time. Can you admit that these are Jen McCabe's kids?
She said she hit him.
Can you admit that these are...
tail light. No more distractions. I don't get
We can get to the tail. Why are you changing the
Let's
subject?
call the defense liars, and I want
Oh
you to
my
explain the tail
This,
light.
you think this woman is
Explain
sane?
the tail light
Listen
or
to us.
go away.
All right,
We
hang
can
on,
get to
Wendy.
the
Hang
tail
on
light
one
in
sec.
one
Hang on one
second.
sec. Hey,
Can we talk about? Can we
Turtle
establish
man,
that these are Jen McCabe's kids?
Explain
Yes
the
or no?
tail light.
Can we establish that these are Jen McCabe's kids?
Are
first?
you going to talk about the tail
Yeah,
light?
I am going to talk about the tail
Then
light, but
get
first I
to
need
it.
you to.
You're wasting-
could have basically been sucker punched inside the home. In your opinion, why would the defense bring in two different theories? That confuses me. Does it confuse you? Lara and Turtle Boy, we're going to come back. Please take a breather. Please chill out, and we'll have a nice, civilized conversation. I'm going to unmute you guys in a minute. But Lara, what about these two different
got
accounts,
muted.
one an animal, one being sucker punched?
Listen, they're trying to understand the evidence themselves. They weren't physically there. Their client doesn't remember hitting him, doesn't know she's hit, at least doesn't.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you that I question if Karen ever actually drove them there, because where's the Ring camera? I think the Ring camera footage not being available when she would have arrived back at that house, that serves no purpose to be deleted. That only would help the prosecution to show what time she got back. But it would hurt the prosecution if she, in fact, returned back to John's house at, let's say, 12:18, 12:19. So to me, I question, the original line of why they were going to say that he got hit by a plow. Because I think that was Karen repeating what these people were saying. But if you are able to if you're in his phone and you're able to then get to his Ring camera to be able to like delete stuff, again, that should all probably be able to be seen if that happened. But I'll tell you right now, I still question if Reed ever drove over to that house. The data can support. Think about this. Think about this. You guys, think about this. Do you understand that if you're Jen and the Alberts and all these fucking people, and if he would have actually come there with Karen, okay, and in a capacity of that she's waiting for him to come get her to go back into the house to make sure it was the right house, or in any type of capacity that Karen brought him there, okay, how in the fucking world did these people think that they were going to be able to, like, hello, Karen knows that she dropped him off here and that she, like, we're not going to be able to lie. Like, their story had to be something completely different, because they did not know at that time, unless they talked to her, unless somebody came out of the house to say to Karen, hey, he said just leave, we'll give him a ride home, he wants to stay longer. Karen's phone places her home after dropping John off, even if Albert's deleted Ring camera data. Yes. Places her home. Which home, though? At his house or at her house? And what time? I'm curious of what time. Only reason I say any of this is because Karen said she never remembered going there. His, right? She said she never remembered going there. Well, if the Ring data showed that she was home at like I said, 12, 20, 5. Think about that. How could she be at home at his house at 12:25, but yet in their driveway at 12:25? You just can't. I mean, seriously, what were they thinking? Like, let's truly play that out in your head. Like, there is no logic in that. Oh my God, we all know that we just beat the fuck out of him and he hit his head and he's dead or he's passed out, he's unconscious. Oh my God, will you guys look out the window? Oh my God. Karen's still waiting there for him. So Karen's going to know that, like, oh my God, wait, guys, she's leaving. How would they know that Karen would be so not when she would wake up to be like, or is that just all fabricated? Were they get their teeth into her right away that when they were talking to her, like, no, Karen, you can't, like, because it's hearsay to say anything that those people say that that's what Karen said. Well, one person reserved. She said she was annoyed waiting 10 minutes for him. Okay, then how was he supposed to get home? But that's the whole point, is that, like, they really thought that it would fly. That, I mean, what if Karen says, like, no, I saw him go inside. Like, I was there. I was waiting. He was going to Uber. See, I look at it this way. Dude, I don't really want to go there. So you can just go with one of these fuckers from Waterfall, and I'm going home if I don't really want to go there. And also this, if I'm waiting for somebody and they're just not coming, they're not answering, I'm going to get my happy ass out of the car and go over there and be like, what would make sense to me is that was there some type of, like, and nobody wants to say that, she was the one driving. If she didn't want to go over there, she just wouldn't have gone over there. I just can't imagine driving somebody over there and then me waiting and then they just don't come out and get me and me being like, all right, I'm just going to peace out of here. Unless I was, like, fighting with that person. That's why that would work for me. Or if somebody came over to my car and said, hey, John said that he's staying and I don't know, like, just to leave. He doesn't want to talk right now. And somebody like a, what's her fucking name? Like a Jen McCabe went out there and, like, said that to her. I don't know. I just can't imagine. No, so wrong. No, it's so wrong. I think that they're all fucking crazy. I mean, I don't think Karen's crazy. I think that, man, you must got it like that if you think that you can pull off this type of, like, we're just going to go ahead and fuck this woman and get her charged for murder, basically. Like, that's just wild to me. Like, take down the whole system.
I think she's hit him. Bottom line is they're trying to figure out what truly happened because the injuries clearly are not consistent with being hit by a car. If you're telling me there's multiple skull fractures, there's abrasions on the forearm, and there's also other injuries, then someone is going to have to explain those injuries. It's not just a car hitting him.
Exactly.
So they probably came up with whatever they thought was a reasonable explanation. It could be an animal attack, or it could be someone sucker punching him inside. But the bottom line is this. I know we're all trying to figure out what's the truth here. What truly happened? We can't always figure that out. What we need to figure out is, did this woman kill her boyfriend? And I think there's plenty. Again, I'm going back to the same thing. Based on the injuries, based on, the plow driver, what he said, based on a number of things that I've been talking about, and the search and the footsteps after the so-called collision, all of it put together shows you that he was alive when she left. And someone's going to have to explain that, whether it's an animal attack, sucker punch, it almost, yeah, we like to hear stories. We always want to have an explanation. The bottom line is this: he was still alive and she didn't kill him. And that's what's going to have to stick and resonate with the jury.
And Turtle Boy, I am coming to you next, right after Tom. These were guests prior to you coming on, so please.
Her friends, I hit him. I mean, again, Karen was black, you know.
All right, let me stop you right there for 1 second. I'm sorry. I really have to rein this in because STS Nation is used to a modicum of decorum, and I would like to keep that tonight. But what Wendy asserted before you came on, which I'd like your reaction to, and
it was obviously her hope. Is that if she Googles the same thing, it will somehow override the last one. And the 624 Google, of course, makes sense because she found a body in the cold and she wants to know how long to die in cold. But the 227 one would not make any sense unless she was involved in some sort of conspiracy. Jennifer McCabe never went to bed that night. Jennifer McCabe, after a full day and full night of drinking, decided that she was going to stay up till 4:53 a.m. for no reason and just wait around for Karen Reed to call her, which she did. And then she Googled how long to die in cold at 2:27 a.m. And when
by the way, Turtle Boy, you're very knowledgeable about this, but a lot of STS Nation, and we've been talking about Jennifer McCabe now for a while, but tell the audience who she is and how she comes into play here.
Jennifer McCabe is the sister-in-law of the homeowner, Brian Albert. Her sister is married to Brian Albert. She was there that night. She's obviously very, very close, obviously, with Brian Albert and her entire family. And she is one of the conspirators involved in this. Obviously, she didn't kill John O'Keefe. She's not physically capable of that. She probably doesn't weigh over 100 pounds. And but she was definitely involved in helping to cover up Brian Albert and protect her family, which a lot of people might consider doing in a situation like that. And framing Karen Reed. I mean, that was the plan. As soon as, I don't think it was a premeditated murder or anything like that. I don't think anyone thinks that they're going to bring this guy over and kill him in the house. I think it was a fight that went wrong when someone hit him in the back of the head, causing that gigantic laceration in the back of his head. And at that point,
that's the part I will disagree with. I believe that that would be the final blow. I don't think that would be the first blow. Also, the dog, like the stuff with the dog, the way that, in my opinion, if I was already on the ground and there was a dog trying to do that, I'd have both of my arms up covering me, which would mean that both of my arms would be like that. Since it's only the one, it's like when if a dog came to you, you know, you're kind of like turning your body, you know, and so when you turn your body, that's how the one arm would get it, in my opinion. Again, I believe that this took place off on the back. What do you call it? I believe that he went out the back door and the dog was out there because Brian Albert came home, and what do? You go and you get your dog and you let your dog out. And he went and got his dog and he let his dog out, and the dog was out in the backyard. And so when John, who came in the house immediately, had to pee, so he goes either right upstairs or downstairs to use the bathroom, and then then goes down, comes back up. Then he has that conversation with McCabe, where they're both not moving, him for 6 minutes, her for 10. So she's sitting at like a table or on like a couch or whatever. And they were back into the back room, which is the way the house is laid out, that it'd be back in the back. And so, and he's like, that would have been, to me, that should have been quick. Unless Jen was being some type of way. I think Jen was probably trying to get with him. And that probably wasn't the first time, by the way. I don't know if these people are swingers. I don't know why anybody would think that they're going to go to an after party and just go there for a little bit and not like a long time. I don't know why the Alberts would have people over their house and saying that everybody was gone by 1. Like, no, that didn't happen. So I think that Jen fancied John. I do. But I do believe that when he walked out that back door, I think that what's plausible then, in my opinion, is that everything's happening in the backyard, because I think that the dog attacked kind of, and I don't know if other people were standing out there. I don't know if these people are smokers. I don't know if the people at the house are smokers, but that the dog didn't know him, and he was trying to get in, or maybe even like telling him to go around the back of the house. But I do believe he's already in there, goes out, the dog comes at him, and he starts hitting the dog. I think that he started hitting the dog. And like, because who wouldn't? You're going to protect yourself. This dog just fucking is trying to like come at me. And he starts going at the dog. And then the owner's like, what the fuck are you doing hitting my dog? And so he starts hitting him. You're not going to fucking touch my dog like that. And then his head, when this is happening, like they're fighting, and then his head on a brick, they have a pool, or they did have a pool out there. You have, I wish I could see the backyard back when it was, but that's like, to me, if you hit somebody and they're down and they hit like their head on like like around beds, and you have like those little, they're like bricks. They're bricks, like the stonework around a bed. But that seems to me that you taking somebody, and you take their head into that, you pick up like a brick and hit somebody. But that's a very interesting gash. But I don't believe that was first. That's a knockout. Your face and those wounds. Yeah. But I think something sexual was going on. And like I said, I don't know. I don't know what type of lifestyle these people live. I don't know how they party. I definitely think that there's, drugs in some type of capacity. You're not up all night. If you don't know something happens, you go to bed. Jen McCabe was pacing around. Jen McCabe was up all night. Wait till you see, that's the last part of the data that I'm putting in, is all of Jen McCabe's stuff. And I was paying attention to her heart rate, and her heart rate and when it spikes. Jen McCabe's heart rate when it spikes. But something happened at 6:30, like basically when she's being interviewed. When she's being interviewed and she has to answer these questions, her heart rate is out of this world. And how I know that it's when she's being interviewed, because I went and checked out the reports on when these officers said that they interviewed her. And that's when her heart's just fucking going crazy, because she's lying. She's lying her fucking tits off. So let me know, Alan Jackson. This shit here is money. My work's money. And Karen Reed's innocent. And these people are some sick puppies. So, is the outside connected to the basement, like at the sliding glass door? No, it doesn't have levels like that. It's there's not a walkout. I looked into that. There's not a walkout. No way that happened. What happened? No way. What happened? I'll drop you the link, Susan Cleveland. I'll drop you the link, and I dare you to show your face on the panel. Yes, Santa, get your paycheck. You think it's pretty? H-Bag, this is your hometown. What do you think about it? What do you think about the work? Let me show you again. Again, I'm going to be finishing this out. I have to keep my lives to see what it is. Yeah, there you go. See right here, this is key. This is money right here. 12:21 in 5 seconds, 12:21 in 10 seconds. And then right here, both of these two are talking and sitting together. 12:24 to 12:20 or to 12:31, 12:25 to 12:25 to 12:35. Again, both of these two, there's no health data going on. Nobody's moving at the same exact times because these two, they're talking to each other. They're sitting at a table. And then she says she pocket dials. She pocket dials, and thank God she said it like that it was a pocket dial, because she screwed herself with that. You're absolutely right. It was a pocket dial. It's because you slipped, because you knew psychologically that you were talking to him at that moment. So that couldn't have been, because you're like, wait, I was already, it was a pocket dial. The truth shall set you free. Swingers are usually in small towns. I like this timeline. I'm glad we have not her angle. Oh, Karen Reed didn't do this. Karen Reed didn't do anything like this. Oh, I got you. Another angle, not a her angle. I was like, wait, who's her? But just wait for it, because I probably got 20 more hours worth, and it'll be perfected. But because every little detail matters. But yeah, they were talking right there. And it makes sense. Any guy, like, you've been drinking, you come in, oh my God, I have to pee really quick, and you go and you pee. And that's what I think happened. I think that he went to go pee. I think that he ran in that house and he went to go pee right away. And so he went downstairs. And I think that when he went downstairs, that would lead him to be like, who's ever down there, for them to like see him, that he was there. And then for them to come and be like, fucking Jen, why did you invite that motherfucker? I hate that cocksucker. Fuck him, type of shit. But within 5 seconds of walking, taking a step, he is on the stairs. So Jen still has the blue light shining outside her house, makes me sick. Well, she's just a pig. My dad would be like, she's a piglet. Don't you go be no piglet, Lana. Okay. Show Lana the love, Massachusetts. I'm coming. Boston supports Lana. Yes. Go park the car in the Harvard Yard. Take the link, Boston. We need the geofence data. Oh, we're going to get it all. Okay, so hear me out on this. You guys, I figured it out. He didn't win his motion because he didn't argue that Jen McCabe had his phone. If Alan Jackson argues with this data that I just did, argues and says, we now have good evidence to show that right here, this proves 85 through 90, that proves that this is why you get your warrant. And he didn't have this data before. Alan Jackson, right here is how you get your warrant to be able to get the Albert stuff, is because you're going to be able to prove that Jen gets the phone and immediately she's walking, his phone starts walking. And it does not happen until, and obviously it can't be Karen Reed because she's doing the CPR. And then Carrie Roberts is there. And there's only one other person that's there, and that's Jen. And so this right here, this is what was not argued in the motion to get these search warrants. But guess what? You can supplement those. And Alan Jackson, this is how you're going to get your motion to be granted. Right here, this data, 85 through 90. That's how he will win that motion. So right here, yep. 85 through 90. Actually, that's it right there. It's already been handled. H-bag, I gotcha. It's been handled. I adore you more than the minute before. I love your personality, your vibe, just you. Can't wait until the next episode. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank you. Did you say you're in Atlanta? Yep, sure, that's what I said. Oh, shit. All right. I'm going to be doing a live tonight in a couple hours of Brian Culver. Then I have Bombshell for Dr. Moore and his wife for the Drake case. I have the Idaho State Police lying about what an eyewitness saw. Holy shit, she identified somebody else and they just used exculpatory evidence and kept it out of a PCA. All I know is that the Moores are about to get paid. Oh shit. These fucking motherfuckers, man. I don't know what they think, but you know, give me your work, give me what you got, and I'll sift through it like a fucking German Shepherd named Chloe. So, but Dr. Moore's innocent, Karen Reed's innocent. Shit, right now, Brian Culver is looking. I mean, Ann Taylor hit up the Moores because of my work, y'all. Holy shit! Anyways, justice for Chloe. Oh shit. Chloe was rehomed to a Vermont home. What? I got my people out on there. We're looking. We are hunting for Chloe right now. I feel like Chloe's worth a mill, man. If I can turn up Chloe. I try. Well, I mean, it's either be depressed with all this shit or get turned up to help people that really truly need help. So I decided to use my energy, you know, instead of being pissed off, I use it to be optimistic and say, like, let me try to help you. So yeah, that's my motto. If you don't like it, that's my motto too. Metadonaldines. What you think about that? Nancy Grace on Fox today. You see her saying how the most disturbing part of Culver is his disgust for women. No wonder. Yeah, Nancy, you know, where are you even getting that shit from? That's what I hate. Like, at least when I want to talk about something, I want to talk about the facts. This is facts, data, surveillance, you know, taking multiple reports and seeing what somebody said, not what your narrative is after you look at all these reports and what you want to pick out of it. Well, I'll do the same thing. Give me all the reports and I'll show you a completely different narrative, which is reasonable doubt, which is all day with Karen Reed. But I think I can prove Karen Reed's innocence. Fuck reasonable doubt. I want to prove Karen Reed's innocence. And I want whoever was at, I'm telling you, there's a receipt. I want to know the receipt of what was bought at that bar. I pick apart every part of it. Like, let's go. Boston, when does bingo start? Tonight. Hopefully it works. We've been working on it. So, Carrie wanted Karen's life so bad. Did she? So now Carrie is the one? Susan, I offered you a link. I offered you a lifeline, girl. Bring some friends. All right, guys. Till next time, do your thing.
All right, who's responsible here? Who's responsible here? Whose house is this?
You haven't been drinking or anything, right?
No.
Okay, drive careful, okay?
Thank you.
This is what the other group had that ran away.
Oh, really?
It just did shit.
Do you a favor on your way out. Thank the mods. Thank all of you guys, members, subscribers. You have an opinion. Thumbs it up, thumbs it down. But more importantly, share this shit. Get this out there. Share this. this timeline proves that Alan Jackson should get his motion for all the data that he wants. This is proof that he should get it because Jennifer McCabe had that cell phone and went walking off with it and then passed it off, and that cell phone made its way. Before the cops ever arrived, that was in motion. Again, thumbs it up, thumbs it down. You have your opinion, and we'll see you back here tonight.
Awesome.
Yeah, those ones kept walking in the car. And the other one.
It's truly for the win.
Disc that I was given to. So there was 2 different discs. Okay.